Hi guys, Miss Francis here to talk to you about prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Life is divided into three domains according to scientists. Two of those domains, bacteria and archaea, are comprised of prokaryotic organisms with prokaryotic cells, and the eukarya domain includes eukaryotes. Eukaryotes include animals, plants, fungi, protists, and I always say you are a eukaryote. So that's how I try and remember which domain contains which type of cell. The archaea domain contains bacteria that can exist in extreme conditions, for example, on thermal vents or in icebergs. But the bacteria and archaea domains both contain prokaryotic cells. So life used to be divided into these six kingdoms, but now scientists have condensed it down to these three domains. And that's how you see where they get the division between prokaryotic organisms and eukaryotic organisms. So these prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells differ in size and complexity. However, they will, regardless of the type of cell that it is, have some things that are similar. For example, all cells are surrounded by a plasma membrane. This plasma membrane will control what enters and exits the cell. It provides protection from the external environment. It is a phospholipid bilayer with embedded proteins. All cells will have a cytosol, otherwise known as a cytoplasm. This is a semi-fluid substance within the membrane. This helps the cell maintain its structure. It's where your chemical reactions are going to occur. All cells are going to have chromosomes in the form of DNA carrying that cell's genetic information. And all cells will have ribosomes. And remember, ribosomes are your protein makers. Take a look at this. Plant and animal cells are both eukaryotic cells. However, there are some differences between plant and animal cells, which we'll get into at a later time. Whereas if you look at a prokaryotic cell, bacteria such as E. coli would fit that group. So let's get into their differences now. So besides seeing their different shapes and the different amount of complexity, let's take a look at these major differences. So the location of those chromosomes is going to be different between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. In eukaryotic cells, I'm going to have a nucleus that's going to contain my chromosomes that are surrounded by a nuclear envelope. However, in my prokaryotic cells, my chromosomes don't fall into an enclosed area. They are found in what's known as the nucleoid region. So here, if we take a look at the chromosomes found in a prokaryotic cell versus a eukaryotic cell, chromosomes in a eukaryotic cell are going to be found in the nucleus. Furthermore, they're going to be wrapped around histone proteins, whereas in a chromosome found in a prokaryotic cell, it's usually just one chromosome found in a loop, which is located in the nucleoid region. So here you can see another T-chart showing the differences between the chromosomes in prokaryotic cells versus eukaryotic cells. Another major difference between eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells is the fact that eukaryotic cells will have compartmentalization, meaning they will have membrane-bound organelles. That will be absent in prokaryotic cells. Another difference is the size. Eukaryotic cells are generally bigger than prokaryotic cells. So here's an overall difference between prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. And you'll notice that this would be your eukaryotic cells, and this is our prokaryotic cells, right? So if we look at the differences, it's nicely outlined for us here. Another thing that I wanted to mention is despite the fact that both prokaryotes and eukaryotes will have ribosomes, they're going to differ in their size and in their location. For example, in prokaryotic cells, you'll have a 70S ribosome. S just refers to Svedberg units. It's the scientists who created the name for them. And they will be freely floating in the cytoplasm, whereas ribosomes found in your eukaryotes are 80S, and you'll have both free and attached ribosomes, where those attached ribosomes will be found at the rough ER. So once again, another chart comparing and contrasting prokaryotic versus eukaryotic cells. Again, another chart comparing prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Here's an actual picture of what a prokaryote would look like. This is E. coli, and it's showing the E. coli. Some of them are dividing, doing binary fission. You will need to know how to recognize the different parts, the different structures within a prokaryotic cell, and you will also be required to draw the prokaryotic cell. Now, sometimes the prokaryotic cell will be shown with 3 outer layers, the plasma membrane, the cell wall, and the capsule, but sometimes some pictures don't show the capsule. So you would be able to label and identify the prokaryotic cell, and then you would be able to draw the prokaryotic cell. All right. Next time we will be discussing the endomembranal system. We will get more into the details of the organelles that are found within these eukaryotic cells. See you then.